Hello. Hello. Oh, hang on. I'm quiet. Hang on, this might make loud noise. Sorry. There we go. A bit better. Hello. And welcome to Technical Difficulties. How are we? We well? I hope we're well. Yeah. Let's pop over to some paper. And a thing I just downloaded, which is small, by the looks of it. Let's make it a little bigger. Here is a picture of a lamp. I'm just going to stick up in the corner. I don't think that's from the game itself, but I think it is a picture referring to the lamp that we have, and we can rub at any point. So that's fun. Right. What's happening? Very good question. How long have I got to explain it? So, last time we went to a dream. Oh yes, dreams, where we met Jim, Jimmy, and Jen. Off stream, we ascertained that Jen's full name is Jim Jensen, so that's good. And they are soldiers in the in the Galbadian army, fighting the war with Timber. And by fighting the war, I mean running away from the war. And going instead to a club to listen to somebody play the piano. This is No over here, who Jimmy has a crush on. He attempts to go and speak to her, but he gets leg cramp every time he does, because he's like that. Fortunately, his friends know him well enough, and as a consequence have arranged, or have spoken to No beforehand, I think, to get them to meet. She's much more forthright and forthcoming about this, and they go to the room, and he talks for far too long. But eventually, you know, they get to chatting and they get along, and then he's called away on business. Anyway, then our actual protagonists wake up in a train on their way to Timber, and they relatively sensibly decide that this is a weird thing, that they all had the same dream, but not something we can deal with at the moment. So they go to Timber, and they meet the resistance there, because the Timber is occupied by the Galbadian forces, which makes sense given that we had a dream involving the Galbadian army fighting the Timber army. Here we meet two of the resistance members, Pinches and Patches. Pinches always has stomach cramps. Patches just is. It seems nice enough. We also meet their leader, Cheery, who we met previously in dancing form. There she is. She went to our Space Potato for the purposes of hiring some mercenaries, and we are those mercenaries. And then we had a dance, and it was awkward. So now she's actually hired us. We're here. That's great. We can get on with actually doing whatever it is she wants us to do. And what she wanted us to do, it turns out, is kidnap a president. So that involved a lot of train stuff, which was unnecessarily complicated. Turned out the president, though, in the train wasn't actually a president. It was a big old goopy monster. Because, you know, imagine if there wasn't a kidnap attempt, and then just like at the other end of the station, this just kind of flops out. Yeah. So that failed. So instead, we have to work out what to do next. Team Timber Owls over here decided to have a little conflab. I don't know where the word conflab comes from. It sounds like it should be short for something, but I don't know what it should be short for. Anyway, they have a little chat. Meanwhile, Simon says that he'd like to see our contract, just so we know where we're standing on this. This was the contract given to Cheery by our headmaster and now commanding officer, Fly. And we read the contract, and the contract says that we are under this contract and under the instruction of the Timber Owls and its head, who is Cheery, until such time as Timber is sufficiently liberated from occupied something or other. I added the lamp just at the beginning, so we're fine. It's there. It's always there, hanging around. Also, hi Ragdoll, how you doing? My bot is not working, so let's correct that. Yay! Technical difficulties. Marvellous. Right. So yeah, so we are now under the instruction of this ragtag group of resistance members until we have liberated a city from occupation by a huge military force. Simon is rightly annoyed by this. But there's not an awful lot we can do. So, we return back to Timber on our train, the resistance train, and we try and work out what to do next. And what do we do next? That's a very good question. I think we go back to Timber and we split up, because obviously the Garbadian forces are probably on the lookout for us, given that we've just attempted to kidnap their president and failed. They probably know we're coming back. Is that good enough? That'll do. So I won't bother drawing this because it's not particularly interesting. We go back to town, we split up, by which I mean Pinches and Patches go elsewhere. And What's-Her-Face comes with us, Cheery comes with us. So it's Simon, Pikachu, Jenny and Cheery. That's the group at the moment. Is it? No, I think actually someone must stay behind, because you can only have a group of 3 at once. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, generally speaking, we're all together. It's a chimp. Hello, how you doing? I've just finished a recap of what happened last time. Basically, Jim and Jive. That's all you need to know. So yeah, we get back into Timber, occupied territory. Soldiers are running around looking for us. So Pinches and Patches run off and do their own thing, go hide places, and we just sort of explore the city for a bit. It's not really. Well, I guess it is a city. It's big enough. Somewhere in between a town and a city, probably. And we go to a bar. Just outside, we find somebody. We find 2 soldiers accosting a person, so we fight them, and they drop some cards on the floor. I think one's a Tonberry card and a Kekchiwa or something. I don't know. And we then go into the pub, and there's a drunk person sitting in the way of the door that we need to get through. Fortunately, it turns out they're his cards, so we give them to him and he moves out of the way. I'm not drawing that. I just need to explain that this is the thing that happens. I don't need to. Could have just said we go into the bar and then walk out the back. But at the back of the bar is an alleyway. And at the end of the alleyway is a staircase that leads up. And the staircase that leads up leads to the outside of the old TV station. I don't know if it's an old TV. I guess it theoretically still works. So let's draw some stairs. I think there's like graffiti on the walls and all these sorts of things. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Are we having a good weekend? Good end to the week? That's what a weekend is. It's a weird double bass on this track. I don't know why I'm being so specific with how this staircase is arranged, but it is. This is roughly what it looks like. And it goes up the side of the building. You're right, just got done with your brother's birthday dinner. Well, I think this was a good time. Also, how are you, Ragdoll? You doing good? Having a good rest before the hustle and bustle of a Monday continues? Yes, bits and bobs here. And there's a big old screen up here. Which is broadcasting images and sounds. For reasons I'm not entirely understanding, but I guess it's on the side of a TV station. Just something like that's going to happen. And at the moment, the screen is just sort of static. I believe there are actually things in the static, words that allude to the story, but I think they're just Easter eggs. Still grading a lot. Semester's almost over, though. Yeah, good times. I've probably said this a lot of times, but I used to find grading very therapeutic. Just sort of nice, simple, repetitive work. Until somebody does something absolutely insane. And then you have to explain. It's hard. Good food! Still feels weird to have your brother as a visitor, though. It's gonna happen. Hello, Miss! How you doing? Right, yeah. So we're walking up the side of a TV station, and there's a TV here. Supports probably for the concrete. Anyway, we're running up. See if I can try and remember how to draw characters. Oh, hang on, I should probably skip this because this gets a copyright strike. For some reason, I was going to do music today and I forgot. Well, I didn't forget, I got distracted by the fact that my flute needs repairing. Hello! You have cake, so you can't be mad. You seem to have cake whenever we do these streams, which means I should do these streams more. So yes, as we were going up, Cheery says, this is the TV station. This must be why the president's coming here. He's going to make some sort of broadcast to the world, because we saw it earlier on in the. Pretty sure she has like a sort of turtlenecky thing. We saw them activate a satellite dish, which hasn't been operational for a long time. What with there being wars and stuff. It's not like you use these streams as an excuse or anything. Well, I'm not going to stop you. But on the way up, our team captain, Simon, decides to question the motives of our... Well, not the motives, but the methodology of our, I guess, commander-in-chief here. I can never remember what her outfit looks like. I think she's got like boots or something. Because basically what we're doing is we're going into a place where the president is. Legs, how do legs work? This isn't rails, this is a solid block of concrete. It's got like cracks in it and everything. So yeah, so yeah, we're running into this place. How to We're running into this place. We don't seem to have a plan of what we're actually going to do when we get there. It's very dangerous because there's probably going to be lots of soldiers around, and we're just literally running headfirst in there. Like, what exactly is going on? Now, Cheery doesn't take particularly kindly to her passions being questioned. She's just very enthusiastic, but doesn't necessarily think things through. No plan, that's the best way to go. Simon disagrees. Simon thinks there should be a plan. And he says as much, basically. And you have an opportunity here in the dialogue to either hold back a little bit, or really just let her know that she has no idea what she's doing. I think it's like the first vaguely meaningful piece of dialogue. I don't think any of the dialogue is actually meaningful, but in terms of how you feel about the characters, I guess. I think Pikachu comes up to you while you're doing this and says, "You sure you want to keep doing this?" And you have the choice to go, "Yes, I am sure." This is not, you know, we are highly trained professionals. We are not some group of children just rushing in headfirst into whatever it is we feel like we should be doing. How about we start actually acting like a proper resistance group here and, you know, make plans or whatever. Yeah, we need to sort things out. Still no idea how to draw this character's hair. But you get the idea. Little group of children were all at least 12. I know. The thing is, in anime terms, children is anyone under 10, so anyone between 11 and 19 is the savior of the universe, and anyone over 20 is just old and crippled. What if we don't know and let chaos lead the way? Don't worry about that. Anyway, so Cheery gets upset by this and says, fine, we'll go back and we'll have a plan. Whatever. We might miss our opportunity, but we'll do it. Fine. And she goes off in a hissy fit. And we have a little conversation with our colleagues as to, like, maybe we, you know, could have done that with a bit more tact. You know, you have your you clearly didn't skip your dancing practice, but maybe your diplomacy could have done some work. I thought. Is Cheery wearing Cloud's jumper? No. She stole it from a dead body. So, the clever leader of the rebellion is such a mature, non-creepy person. Absolutely mature, definitely thinks everything through. Yeah, so I just want to draw Pikachu doing something other than smiling gormlessly. He doesn't. He's got a character. It's mostly enthusiastic jock boy who loves hot dogs too much. But Cloud's dead body. Nobody survived the impact at the end of FF7. There is no ambiguity. They all died. Yeah, you got like this and some stuff going on here. Big old shorts. Looks like hands to do that. Yeah. Do the face before the eyes. Difficult to take him seriously when he's got a massive tattoo on his face, but whatever. Sonic's jumper is like the Elder Wand from Harry Potter. Everybody who wears it ends up passing away, and a new person takes up the Sweater of Doom. Interesting. Cheery's not exactly prepared for any of this, like, at all. Absolutely not. But don't worry, she redeems herself by being even worse later on. We'll get to that. You love that for characters. You'll love this story. Yeah. How does perspective? It was going so well, right up until this point. Anyway. So yeah, this happens, and what's her face? Cheery runs off. We need to start trying to memorize the names of these characters. Also, what they look like, because these don't look anything like. No? Better than that? Nope. A bit worse than that. Nope. That'll do. Cheery. Nope, still doesn't look like her. Anyway. So. She runs off, and just as she runs off, the broadcast begins. Yes. The broadcast is happening right now. It begins with cameramen and soundmen running around. It's not a particularly professional job. And then an announcer comes up to the podium and says something along the lines of, "Oh, this is a historic day. We're going to be broadcasting live all around the world thanks to satellite technology that's been defunct for a while, but we activated it recently in Dollet. Hope you already knew about that." Oh, Cheery. I'd say there's about a 75% chance that I actually get Mrs. Joke. My attention span is irreparably damaged. So yeah, after a bit of waffle, he introduces the president. And the president walks up to the podium and prepares to give his big old speech. There's like 6 microphones attached to the podium for no reason. There's probably also like a boom mic up here. But the same chance you get your humour, so you're fine. There's like a curtain. Probably frame it a bit lower. Alright. So here's the president. I guess we should name him. I think I've just been calling him the president up to this point. Do bear in mind that whatever his name is will be the name of a city. So... But he has jowls as well. Yeah, look at that. He's got like a receding hairline. He's quite old. So, you know, probably like 22 or something. But did he name himself after the city, or was the city named after him? I don't know. He's a president, so it's not a hereditary thing. Anyway, he starts talking about, you know, we're entering prosperous times. Galbadian forces are occupying much territory, and we'll see prosperity for the world, not just in Galbadia and its occupied territories, but also in the whole world, thanks to the help of my trusted friends and recent employees. And speaking of which, I would like to introduce to you the new ambassador of Galbadia, the sorceress. And then he introduces somebody off camera. I don't think we learn the name yet, but that'll do for the moment. It doesn't sound very professional. He's a president. He can do what he wants. If there's one thing we've learned in the modern world, it's that a president does not have to be coherent. The sorceress, he doesn't even know her name. I don't think he says her name at the moment. We'll learn it eventually, don't worry. But anyway, we have now been introduced to one of the main pillars of the design of this game. Because believe it or not, would you believe me if I were to say that there were two things that defined the development of the story of this game? And one of them was love, and the other one is succession of witches. Does that sound like this story so far? You bet it does. For those of you who are aware of the opening music with the lyrics "Fithos lucec vicos vinosec," that's not actually Latin. It's just an anagram of love and succession of witches. It's right up there in the intro. Yes, you thought you had a grasp on what this game was, but no, it was Dio. So he's having a chat. He looks a bit like a Muppet. Don't worry about it. You know what? Embrace it. No, don't embrace it. Don't do that. That's the plot. What plot there? There's too much plot. You cannot complain that this game does not have enough plot. It's got like 3 games worth of plot, none of which fit together, but it's all in there. Yes. So he introduces the sorceress, and then gestures off screen, and our characters look at each other and go, "Sorceress? I've never heard of a sorceress." It's a weird thing to introduce as your ambassador to the rest of the world. What coherent plot there is. Yeah, there's none of that. Sorceress. Unfortunately, the it's not an interview, is it? It's a hang on, I'm gonna slightly reframe this for the purposes of how do hands work? Broadcast, speech, whatever. This is the whole thing's interrupted. By a good friend of the show. I'll give you a clue. Remember how these things work. Jim, not Jim. Or Jim. Or Jimmy. Give you a clue. I think I did that last time, didn't I? Kai, oh yeah, he's not out of the story yet. He's not out of the story yet. Not Harry Potter. Well, then maybe. Big eyebrows now. I think that's how I drew him, isn't it? Something like that. You get the idea. What is Kyle doing here? Very good question. Why is he stabbing President Jimson? Also a good question. But guess who else is here? Basically, Kyle does what we were trying to do and kidnaps the president with holding his blade up to his face. Neck, I mean. The vest really makes it Kyle, yeah. It's got to be short vest. Hang on, even shorter. He's a drama, he absolutely lives for the drama. So yeah, he takes prisoner, what's his face? I can't remember how I drew. Everyone has the same nose in this, it's fine, don't worry about it. Who are you? It's the person who has exactly the same head shape that I draw for everyone. And as a consequence are indistinguishable from one another. Do you know what? Just to make this character... Oh, hang on. What am I doing? What am I doing? That's not how you draw their mouth, is it? I was going to say maybe I should draw them with glasses all the time just to make them a bit more recognizable, but no, the lips. How do lips work? And it's Creepy Teach. Yeah, so she basically pops in on the camera and says, "Oi! Simon, Pikachu, I know your team are here. Quickly, come here. This is not going as planned." Always giving an opportunity to show off her assets. You don't want to know. Whips are involved. Oh, I've just realised, in order to explain what's happening here, I do have to say the word discipline. She's really assuming they're watching TV. Yes, if you're going to go into this analysing assumptions that characters make, you're going to be here a while.
Unsubscribes.
There was no plan for it to go according to. Can that just be the tagline of this entire thing? There was no plan for it to go according to. Oh, I love it. Yeah, so we rush in there. We rush in where Fool's theatre write scripts, and just realised I'm gonna have to draw this whole scene again, kind of. Not really. I don't have to bother. So we all rush in. So it's Simon. It's the bowling pin trio. Simon, Pikachu, and Jenny. And Velma explains, while Kyle is still holding the president hostage with a knife up to his throat, or gunblade. It's a bit awkward, actually. It's quite long. She explained. I'll draw what happens next while I'm talking about this. So for some reason I can sort of remember the staging of this area. So yeah, what's her face says, Velma says, he escaped the discipline room, I think that's what's said, and came running here, something about something, I can't remember. I think the basic idea is that Shiri did say that she met Kyle at the party and he was the one who introduced her to the headmaster Fly, so that she could get the whole contract up and running, and she explained what was going on with him and he seemed very interested, so evidently he's taken it upon himself to come here and prove that he's perfectly capable of doing this sort of thing. Kidnapping a president and all that. He's trying to prove himself because he's an agent. So they go into a sort of back area of the studio with a bunch of drapery. I don't know why it's sort of looking all ominous and weird. He sort of drags the president backwards. Oh, sorry. Important thing that happens here. So we're all saying, you know, we need to sort this out. Don't worry, we can sort this out amicably. Don't worry, President. We can sort this out. It's absolutely fine. And then Pikachu, being Pikachu, says, "Yeah, we'll sort this out. And then when we get back to the space potato, you're really in trouble, Kyle. You're really gonna get it." And the president goes, "Oh, you're from the space potato, are you? Right, cool. That's good to know. That's who's trying to abduct me." And everyone else goes, probably shouldn't have said that. So now there's a good possibility that the space potato is in danger. Thank you, Pikachu. Kyle appears to be going bald. How many military schools are out there? 3. We'll get to that. Ours is the space potato, though. There's also the space pancake and the space shape of irrelevance. We'll get to that. Sort of like holding them. I don't know how you hold a blade up to somebody's neck. It's not something I have an awful lot of experience with, believe it or not. Particularly not one with a gun for a handle. It's a departure of the food theme. I mean, you can name a food. Waffle. Name a. Do you know what? I'm gonna say the cheese, space cheese, and there's a reason I'm gonna call it that, but we won't get there for another 6 or 7 streams. Why did I choose to draw this bit? So yeah, Kyle now emboldened by the fact that if he lets the president go, bad things are going to happen to the garden. Maybe he's got like a sort of comb-overy thing. How do faces work on the side? I don't know. Doesn't particularly matter, it's fine. It doesn't. It literally runs off in a second. Don't worry about it. So yeah. Anyway, this is all happening, and we go into this back room, because Carl doesn't actually know what to do at this point. None of our characters go in with a particular plan. It's fine. Luckily for me, Carl wears a big old long coat, which also covers this guy's legs. So. Look at this wonderful, perfect vision of anatomy. How does this work? It doesn't particularly matter, it's fine, don't worry about it. The boots here. Anyway. Big old portal opens up. What is anatomy? I think it's one of the characters in this game. We haven't met them yet. Anatomy. And through it walks... Well, who's going to walk through a magical portal other than the sorceress? How am I going to draw you? That's a very good question. You've got quite a small head. Just sort of stare off into the middle distance all the time. Long thin nose. Big ol' thing, sort of swept back hair, I think. Sort of like pulled back. He's wearing, I don't know, there's like weird, there's chopsticks in her hair or something. There's a lot of decoration going on here and I can't draw it all. Probably should have paid any sort of attention to anything that's happening, but she does have this weird spiky headdress thing that has sort of long bits of fabric coming down from it. Found the name of the sorceress, Anatomy. And I'm not going to complain. Why? So she's got like very heavy makeup on, and I can't really do that in this style. Like she's just got like a bucket of eyeshadow. This looks so unlike the character that is relatively important to the plot. Extra AF, absolutely. Sorceresses have many details. There's probably like some nice sort of face paint sort of thing going on here, and I don't know what's going on. I think shoulder pad blade things, sort of, I don't know. Looks a little bit like something out of Doctor Who. Gallifreyan. Anyway, she comes out of this weird portal and basically says, hello, child. And Kyle goes, I'm not a kid. Do you not see the fact that I have a blade up to the throat of a president here? I am not a child. He says, you're such a scared child. And he goes, I'm not a child. This goes on for about 5 minutes. She says, why don't you come with me and I will turn you from a child into a man and make your dreams come true. It's very Narnia-esque, but there's no, I don't think there's any Turkish delight involved. Stranger danger, absolutely. And then she sort of does a weird spell on his face. There's no way I can explain this without it sounding weird. Headpieces, makeup, updos, whatever the hell's up with their hands. It's, yeah. I think she has like a long dress on as well, probably. Fits the theme and it means I don't have to draw legs. Yay, the emote gets used. She drug Kyle. Spell drug. Drugged him with the magic of Turkish delight. And very long arms. What is it about this that doesn't look right? I can see it so clearly in my head, and yet this is so wrong. All I know is that this isn't it. She has like dark purple hair. Why is every other woman in this game a sexual predator? And why is my response to that always, well, there's a reason for that. I think in almost every instance I've looked through the story and gone, there's actually an explanation? I don't know whether that's good or bad. Let's say there's some sort of nice drapery going on here as well. Yeah, this isn't her, but it's fine. To be fair, there usually is, but all the reasons are weird. That's the fact that you have to keep pointing out that there are reasons is indicative of the fact that there's a problem. Yeah, anyway, so she spells him in the face. And he follows her into the portal and disappears. The president, meanwhile, runs away. As well he might. Nope. Okay, out abruptly. Hey, more castle music. So yeah, this character's colour is purple. So yeah, Kyle walks off into the portal and disappears out of sight. The president runs away. We run in and try and we go, there's a new woman. Attack her for some reason. And her response is to throw up a barrier and paralyzes us on the floor. And she leaves through the portal. And that's that. She's a disgrace to the colour purple, I know. So Kyle has gone wherever he went. The president now knows that he's under attack from the space potato. And all in all, this went very well. Where are your parents? That is also a good question. Keep that one in mind. You guys are asking so many relevant questions. So yeah, we all run in through here and we get paralyzed on the floor over here and it's fine. Your boy Carl, your baby. He's doing fine. He's only a little bit hypnotized. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So, this is anime. There are no parents. The things I want to say. I can't wait till that bit. Right. So, having absolutely disastrously ruined everything, we, you know, I don't know. I guess that's not far after when I have to explain cheese, to be honest. After Norg as well. Anyway, so everybody who hasn't yet been abducted by a sorceress reconvenes. Obviously, the city is now under pretty heavy lockdown, as the president has just been attacked on live television. And so we all hide in the bedroom of two small children just above an alleyway next to a pub. And we have a little chat about what we think we should do now. Cool. Oh no, that's not that far on after I have to explain cheese. I'm sure I've said weirder things. Streaming, it makes you say strange stuff. So yeah, we reconvene, and we get to talk to all the characters, and I can't remember what they all say, but let's make it up. So, Pikachu is pretty... He's beating himself up about the fact that he may just have endangered the entirety of the school that they come from. And who knows what's going to happen when the biggest military finds out that the military school is attacking their president. Not great. Not a great old time. There's also a cat in this room, so I can draw a cat. I don't think you can't pet the cat, but it does meow when you go near it, so that's something. It's not a small window, you can lean out of it and look down. There's also like a boiler or something in the corner. Anyway, so yeah, Pikachu's down here and he's a bit annoyed. When he's annoyed, he sort of punches the floor a bit. Yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. How many times am I going to have to keep saying that before I get it into my head that these do not have to be fantastic drawings for the purposes of a draw-through? It's a draw-through, don't worry about it. So in the Hades game you can pet Cerberus! Ah, that's triple good. I'm sure game developers are now starting to actually just put dogs in their game just so you can pet them. Kind of free advertising a bit. Oh, there was that one instance of pet all animals, yeah. There was that one instance of a game that made it really obfuscatory. You had to go through lots of hoops so that you could pet the dog, and they did that just to trip up the Twitter account. Can you pet the dog or whatever it's called? And they failed because they worked it out. If you can put in insane fighting animations, you can make it so you can pet all animals. You should be able to. Should be able to. Anyway, so Pikachu's annoyed. Yeah, battle flute. He's annoyed because his feet have shrunk. And yeah, that's happening. I can't remember where everyone else is in the room. We spend a little bit of time here waiting for soldiers to go away. I'll draw you last. Cheery's also here. I think she was the one who told us where to hide. What down there? No, she's probably on the bed. She was introduced on a bed. She will remain on a bed. love it when Pal makes a guest appearance with his flute. And yeah, Cheery's wondering, you know, maybe if we had a plan, this wouldn't have gone wrong. Maybe were you right, or should I have just gone with my gut? You know, she's trying to work out what's going on and how she can help problems, because now, you know, she got on with Kyle at the dance. She quite likes him, and you know, it's not. She didn't want this to happen to anyone. I think her hair is straighter than that, yeah. Nobody looks like who they're supposed to in this game. It's fine. Kira was really not made for war, and it shows. Absolutely. She's the only one of our group so far who has not been trained in a military academy. So... So, you know, it's not her fault. She has gumption. That's what she has. Which I think you can get cream for. She also has massive feet. And is just generally out of scale with the rest of the world. Given the choice, wouldn't you want to be in bed all the time? No, I've tried working in bed, it's hard. Need proper back support. So yeah, she's thinking that. I think... I think Jenny's like over here contemplating why everyone can't just get along. Like big old anime-eyed girl that she is. Yes, continue. Thank you very much, YouTube. You feel that the older you get, the less comfortable your bed is. Maybe you just need a new mattress. No, I shouldn't do that. Because she's wearing a short skirt. I was gonna do cross-legged. Don't do that. I think she's also got big boots. She does look a little bit like a sort of bloodborne doll that's just been dropped on the floor, but don't worry about it. Eating toast and playing Imagine on the ukulele. Oh. Funnily enough, she is from the cheese potato. No, space cheese. That's the one. If you remember, we met her on her first day here. She was an exchange student. She was an exchange from the space cheese. Why am I trying to correct that? Look at it. You've sat in that position before. It's not an uncomfortable position. But more importantly, it's not a revealing position. I'm going to put the window over here. So we're also here, thinking this is such a badly planned situation. Oh dear. Change schools right before graduation. It was a bit of a weird move, but you know. She came to the Space Potato for the purposes of organising the fair that they're working on. Do you remember that? They were doing a fair thing? Big old celebration, and she tried to get us to sign up for it. I'm not looking forward to replacing this piece of music because it's so simple, and I find simple very hard. It's a nice little guitar thing. There wasn't a plan, Simon. Get with it. I think that's what he's annoyed about. There wasn't a plan. He likes plans. He likes someone telling him what to do. There we go, the big ones. Don't know why I'm using such a big pencil, it's fine. I've just realised, is Simon's coat from the same collection as Kyle's vest? Because they're both far too short. So yeah, Simon's just there thinking, oh, if there was a plan, maybe this wouldn't have gone so awry. Kyle, you're an idiot. Why did you leave detention? Seems like a weird thing to transfer schools for, but go off, I guess. I mean, she chases her dreams. Sorry, I'm just reminded of that that bit from Blackadder, wasn't it? I have some very strange dreams. Last night I dreamt I was a sausage roll. And permitted term, bitch. Don't you blame Carl for getting kidnapped, you little bitch. The best women's clothes, jackets and vests are always too short. It's fashion. Velma's also here. I did that nose through. And I think she's the one who sort of looks at us and goes, well, okay, you're the squad leader here. What are we supposed to do? In the event of not knowing what to do? And we recall our instruction, we recall our training, and we go, paragraph 17 of the subclause of general outboard machinations, 13.4 clause 9 part 2. In the event of lack of orders and no way of getting back to the Space Potato, we must instead head towards the nearest space object and get orders there. And so that's what we do. We agree that we're going to head towards the nearest space object, which is the space pancake, also known as the Galbadian Garden. Quite why we are heading towards something called Galbadian Garden when it's the Galbadian army that are angry with us. I don't quite know how this works. I think Galbadia is just a place, and they both have the same name. It's not. I don't think the garden is affiliated with the army. I don't know why Velma's so buff all of a sudden. Don't worry about it. Fred, man. Oh wow, yeah. Stop it. Stop it, you silly thing. Just as I started the stream, my antivirus software decided to do a scan. I was like, really? Right now? Space object, yes. Garden is what I mean. But now that we've decided to call them all space things, they are now space things. I forgot she was wearing gloves, wasn't she? What's she is. Comes to something when the evil, mysterious sorceress has the same, very, very similar sort of clothing to one of your protagonists. Anyway, yeah, so we just sort of hang around, and we decided to get out of the city somehow, and work our way towards the space pancake, the Galbadian garden, because we are near Galbadia, or Galbadia, or Garibaldi. So, how are we going to get out? Good question. Fortunately, because this is an anime and things just work out, we're on our way to the train station to try and see if we can get on a train or whatever. And we bump into somebody we do not recognize. Whatever, this is Simon, don't worry about it. Shorthand. You get the idea, look at that. It's like made up of Jackson Pollock scratches. No mouth. We come across an old man who's bent over double, who's got a flat cap on. I'm an old man. Who interrupts us in the street, and we go, "Excuse me, old man, we are trying to make our way out of here." It's appropriate music, I think. The old man of 25! He may well be 25, because it turns out it's not an old man after all. But who is it? It is Pinches in disguise. Oh yes. That person who was so generic looking it doesn't even matter whether I draw them or not properly, as they were before. It's fine. He's in disguise. And he still has stomach cramps. Don't worry about it. Do you remember Pinches? He was in the Resistance. He ran off. There's Pinches and Patches. They were part of the Resistance. They helped us with the train. I'm so lost for this. I've got to remember the names and regurgitate them on command. Here's where I look at. Something or other. Pinches and Patches. The two... I was about to say the two comic relief characters, but there are quite a lot of pairs of comic relief characters in this game. So yeah, he's playing the part of an old man because he's hiding, obviously, being part of the Resistance. And he comes along and he says, "I've got the last 5 tickets out of Timber. Before they're gonna shut all the trains off. I don't know why they haven't done it already, but you know, it works out quite nicely for us." So, and he goes around to the group and he gives one to Cheery and says, "I've got one for you." And then he goes to our group and he says, "I've got 3 for you. I've got one for the spiky-haired electric fellow, one for moody teen, and one for big-eyed anime girl. That's 1 ticket for everybody, and 1 for me, so that we could all get out together." And then obviously he wasn't around for the whole broadcast situation. So he did not see. Really cranked out the pose. It's like, one of them's got to be good, isn't it? Monkeys and typewriters, you know? So yeah, he wasn't around when Velma came back, so we're a ticket short now. Fortunately, Pinches, is a good old soul, and decides to yes, this is Velma's fault. And he decides to give us his ticket so that Velma can get out. Would have needed 6 tickets for the group he thought we'd need to get out. I imagine Patches already has his. It's attack flute again. Velma can stay behind, it's fine. I don't know why Velma's here. Pinches gives us his ticket so that we can get out safely. He says, "Oh, don't worry about me. I've got a stomach cramp coming on. I will slow you down." And then he gets a stomach cramp because that's what happens to Pinches. Hence the name. Velma can walk. And so we get on the train and we go to leave. Jenny gets all excited and jumps around and goes, let me into the train, let me into the train. So we let her into the train. She likes trains. She's really big on trains, and you've never identified more with the character's stomach cramps or a way of life. You may identify with the character less the next time we meet them. Well, maybe not, I don't know. Subsequent to that, probably. Anyway. So we get onto the train, and Jenny's all excited that there's a train. Pikachu is uncharacteristically dour and punches the train, which causes the train announcer to go, there was a bit of turbulence there. It's fine. I don't know what that was, but don't worry about it. And so we are on the train, ready to head towards Galbadian Pancake. The train doesn't take us all the way, obviously. We have to get out and walk around the world map for a bit. This is the point in the game where I saw somebody streaming the game and they got completely lost, even though the train drops you off and points you directly towards where you're supposed to go. But you know, games. So we have to walk through some woods to get to where we need to go. So we're going to walk through some woods. Oh, there was something I was going to get ready for this. How do tree roots work? I don't know. So yeah, these are presumably similar to the woods of timber that we were in prior. The old flashback or dream thing, whatever it was. With Jim, Jiminy, and Jerry. Jim, Jimmy, and Jen. That was it. Not to be confused with Jenny. So yeah, we're walking through this place. And I can't... A conversation happens here, and I can't remember the exact... Oh, let's skip this. Okay. Yeah, I think Ragdoll said that it's Jim Jensen, in reference to their friend. Anywho, a conversation occurs here. I think it's another argument between Simon and Cheery. His names was I this slow with the Final Fantasy VII one? So I think another argument happens here, with regards to professionalism and what we're going to do about things and all that. I can't. Is it? Or it's either that or an argument between him and Velma about something, but that doesn't make any sense. Velma's involved somehow. I can't remember how. I think maybe she scolds us for our unprofessionalism of arguing with the person who holds our contract. Why am I using such a big pencil? I'm definitely going to have to do shorthand here. So yeah, and a conversation happens about, you know, what do you plan to do? Are you going to go back to Timber? Like, why did you come with us? What do you hope to get out of this? Why, you know, we're still technically under your contract, but you've decided that we should leave this place. Do you even know what you're doing? Etc. etc. This happens. Shut up, Phil. We don't want to hear anything about professionalism from you. I need a cheat sheet. I need nothing of the sort. Need an aneurysm. That's not the word I was looking for. Lobotomy, that was the word I was looking for. I'm just going to have an aneurysm. They have a little tiff. As is their wont. Did I just play the Cthulhu game again? Same thing. That's no. 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 I think the argument probably also mentions Kyle at some point. What kind of professionalism do you expect from a place that lets 18-year-olds be teachers? I'll have you know, she was 17 when she became a teacher. Oh yeah, shorthand. We're very short. And allow. I don't even check anymore. just allow. Was he gonna have to do a full save for Cthulhu? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We can do that. I think it was the word fools. I turned down auto mod. I turned down its sensitivity. Meanwhile, The rest of the characters are just sort of standing here off to the side. Lips are getting bigger. Quite possibly the worst drawing I've done of a character so far. But you know, there's always got to be a worst. It doesn't matter too much, for reasons that will become apparent in a bit. Excuse me, you're not impossibly thin, thank you very much. Yeah, apparently asterisking things is fine. Okay, so you're there. Let's say you're here. He doesn't like there being arguments. They were just on a train and it was great. Asterisk, asterisk. Is the word asterisk censored? I can do that manually, can't I? I'm gonna bowling pin you again, don't worry about it. What is this drawing? And also over here is Pikachu. I'll just auto mod. Pretty much any auto moderation software does this. Yeah. My favourite is it's a bit of an old joke at this point, and you can understand why they did it. But in Dark Souls, you can write the name of your character as you wish. But if you invade or do cooperation with somebody, it will censor your name if it has something in it. And it likes to censor the word knight. As in, you know, like Knight Solaire and Knight Artorias and all that sort of stuff, because it has the letters N-I-G in the middle of it. Yeah. So I think it's K apostrophe 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 H-T. This piece of music was just on. Shorthand. Yeah, I just love the fact that the word knight is all over Dark Souls, but you can't have that as a character name. Not mad, it's a nice piece of music. This has the soundtrack to this game is generally, it's probably the calmest in a sense. There's a lot of just sort of atmospheric-y kind of pieces. There's also a lot of nut stuff, but there's more atmospheric stuff than anything else. Any of the other ones, I think. Like Final Fantasy IX soundtrack, that has some atmospheric stuff, but it's in general quite sort of twee and fantasy-esque and silly. Seven's is quite sort of synthy and grungy in places. Tens is quite jazzy, although I attribute that to the fact that they got new composers. Even as a kid who knew nothing about composers or anything like that, I could tell it wasn't the same. Everybody has the hands on the hips, and I can't draw hands on hips, so that's good. Look, he punches things for a living, his hands are potatoes. Shorthand. Look, the reason I'm drawing everyone is very straightforward. Because as a music writing for this game, by the by, I completely forgot about it. I was going to do some today, and I did something else instead. There were 3 things I was going to do today, and I couldn't decide which to do, and I ended up doing none of them. So that's good. Mood, indeed, yeah. Mood is doom. Anyway, so what happens here? Although this might be a nice one to do. There's some fun stuff going on here. A nice instrumentation we can mess with. So, a high-pitched whine. A high-pitched whine occurs. Gonna take a bit of a sip of a drink. A high-pitched whine occurs during which Velma, Jenny, and Simon all fall unconscious. And they died at the end. You say that. There is a famous theory that at some point in this game one of the characters does die, and the rest of the game is a fever dream. That's how sensible the rest of this game's story is. Not Pikachu. No, Pikachu. Well, Cheery, who is rather confused by what just happened, says, what? And Pikachu goes, I think they're about to go and say hello to Jimmy. And then we fade to black. All of them to assume that all of this game isn't a fever dream. Yeah, but it gets particularly egregious after disc 1. If you think this is mad, people are willing to assume this all happens compared to the rest of the game. Right, so yes. How am I gonna, okay, so with how much of this do I need to draw? There's a lot of stuff that happens here, not a lot of which is important. But basically we're on a big old mountain path, and in the distance there's like this forests and things. And there's a big old something. Big old thing here. It's got some scaffolding up and around it. Like a big old silos. But it's mostly forests. And there's some mountain in the back. Alright, skip this. I'm gonna move this around so that things can remain seen when I draw characters, because I always remember to do that. Always remember to leave space for characters and speech marks. Speech marks? Speech bubbles, that's the one I'm looking for, isn't it? You get the idea, there's a path going down there. Right, so we rejoin our friends. Ooh, I must remember how to draw. Wait, I think I've skipped that one as well. Don't worry about it. Martial law. I like this one. I'm probably going to bundle a couple of things into this scene that aren't actually in this scene. Don't worry about it. Actually, do you know what? I have a piece of music that I wrote ages ago inspired by this track. I might just use that. That'd be good. You make your own playlist of songs you can use. I know. I should really replace the ones I know trigger copyright things, so like the boss theme and stuff like that. They got big old bangles on them. So yeah, we rejoin the adventures of Jimmy, Bimmy, and Limmy. Jim, Jimmy, and Jen. As they try and work out where on earth they are. They appear to have gotten a little bit lost, and it turns out that Jimmy was holding the map upside down. So don't worry about that. He'll work out what to do. He's confident. He's a traveller. He likes travelling. He wants to be a travel writer one day. He's got an internal sense of direction. He knows exactly where he's headed. It's fine. So they all run down and they go towards this thing. Yeah. I'm just going to draw the characters for a sec. Maps are complicated. Who would ever get the direction? I'm starting to believe that Miss may possibly have occasionally known some people who weren't very good with maps. Well, don't worry, Miss, your secret's safe with me. I won't tell anybody that you know people who aren't good at maps. So yeah, Jim is big. Jim is a big old beefy boy. Carries around an anchor. Have I ever mentioned that? Well, not very good with signposts more than maps. I mean, when I very briefly drove, I always used to missign road signs and things like that. Another reason I shouldn't drive. I even mentioned that, yeah. Well, I'm going to draw him carrying it anyway. Because it's not that often you get to draw somebody carrying an anchor. The weird thing about this soundtrack is there's not a lot of that I would say sounds like Final Fantasy VIII. There's a lot of it that sort of sounds like, oh, that feels like it could be from 9. That feels like it could fit in 7. There's not a lot that's like, oh, that's 8. That's definitely 8. There is some there. Mostly kind of jazzy things. But that might just be me. You failed the driving test because you were so focused on not messing up you missed the road sign for where you were asked to go. Oh, I know that one. I passed my driving test first time and I absolutely should not have passed my driving test first time. I know it's annoying at the time, but there's a reason you fail it if you do. And I should have. Anyway, yeah, so he's there. And yeah, Jen's also here. There's a lot of characters who I could just describe as being also here. To be fair, Jen does, you know, what, but I should specify at this point that Jim, I don't think, says anything. I think I'm right in saying. You failed 4 times and ran out of money and confidence to try again. No. You barely passed the written part because you mixed up pedestrian crossing and school crossing. Nah. The pedestrian's a type of bird and the school is fish. That's the difference. So yeah, Jen gives him a bit of a hard time. Playfully, they're friends. It's good. I'm quite pleased with that drawing. it's not accurate, but it gives the idea. But yeah, I remember doing all right with the written test because I'm quite good at memorizing stuff. But practically, oh no, I'm never confident behind the wheel of a car. Right. Look at this sort of vague representation of a human next to like something from Asterix and Obelisk. Asterix and Obelisk. And it is Obelisk, isn't it? Not Obelix. I don't know. So yeah, they eventually work out that they're lost, but they're going to head towards this thing, this peculiar structure in the woods. So they go there. And in going there, they discover some weird soldiers who attack them, who they describe as Esther soldiers. And they're all big, bug-eyed, and I think they've got like multiple sort of bug-eye things on there. This is a helmet, so they're sort of like... getting a bit Kink Vader. Estus like Dark Souls? No, Esther. Soldier, I didn't even say anything. So yeah, they're wearing all this sort of odd futuristic looking armor. But they do attack with, do you know what I have just... It's something that when you're a kid you don't really think about. Because you're already playing something incredibly absurd. Esther, yes. I think it's Esthar rather than Esther. But it's just as ridiculous, so don't worry. This is Spider-Man. No, it's not Spider-Man, because does Spider-Man use, as their weapon, a pickaxe with a gun in it? I didn't think so. This is what just occurred to me, like... So in a sense, there is a reason there's a pickaxe. I get that, because we are about to go into a mine. Why is there a gun in it? I don't know. I think it's like in the side, like this. Weird gun coming out of the handle. It's strange, I don't know. It's a cyborg suit and a pickaxe with a gun in it. Pickaxe seems like the least convenient weapon to have a gun in it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Maybe I have just completely made this up, but I seem to remember it. It's all from memory, don't worry. Anyway, so we've got these Estes soldiers, and they appear to be guarding this whatever we've just walked into. There's a lot of military organizations in this world. That's the soldiers with their pickaxe guns, absolutely. I'm gonna actually also draw another enemy that you fight here, because there's not a lot that really happens here, but I am going to illustrate a few things that are quite important. Get along the impression that they're quite sort of high-tech, despite their pickaxe guns. With a shovel and a pickaxe gun, yes. And a hand grenade. That's not Simon. Jimmy's thing. I think we mentioned last time that Jimmy has hand grenades. And a machine gun. That's his weapon, which is just a sensible thing. No, I don't think it's like the community. Nah, it's fine. Anyway, you fight a bunch of these. You also fight one of these. Well, you fight several things depending on how much you want to stick around. I just like the design of these things, because they're strange. Oh yeah. Just like 4 pool noodles coming out of a weird floating ball. Can't remember what they're called. But they're weird. Elastoid? I think they're called. They wobble and spin. They're strange. There's just sort of like patterns on the ball. Sort of float around. And just trying to hit a rock, then bang. I was about to say it accelerates, but in order for it to accelerate, you would have to have the gun pointing towards you, which is not a good idea. Newton, you foiled my plans again. Every action has an equal and opposite. Right. So, a couple of things to bear in mind about the place that we're just entering. Firstly, it's big. Here's a ladder we're going to climb down.
Must have been the wind.
This must have been the wind. Absolutely. Here's the tree line up here, bunch of trees. Then up here is what we're going into. Which is, it's difficult to demonstrate with this, but it's sort of like this massive... It looks almost gelatinous, but it's supposed to be sort of crystalline sort of thing, and they've sort of dug holes in the side of it. ways around. It's a scaffolding and ladders. This is how ladders work, don't worry about it. So yeah, it's a big old crystal-y thing. I was going to ask what is happening, but honestly, you're just here for the ride now. Look, Jim, Jimmy, and Jen are lost. They find a big old crystal covered in Spider-Man soldiers, and they decide to investigate. They are confused as to why there are Esther's soldiers here. For reasons that I don't think are explained at the moment, but we will discover at some point. And so we're just going down and seeing what this big old green crystal-y thing, massive crystal-y thing is. This is a big old crystal. And I will point out at this point that this crystal is significant. But, and it will seem obvious when I point out how significant it is eventually, but I played this game like 3 or 4 times before I realised what it was. So, it is obvious. It is, like, when you actually look at the game as a whole, it is obvious, but my stupid child brain had no memory for any of this. So, I just thought it was a weird thing with the colourful crystals. It's fine, don't worry. And, oh, that looks familiar. It's a thing that was there before, but it turns out, yep, it's the same thing. Oh dear. Anyway, it's going to crop up later. Got to investigate the Estus-infused Spider-Man. Absolutely. So we go in there, we fight some elastoids, also some gyroids, I think, which are just like... I'm going to draw one of them as well. It's not often I draw enemies in these things, but I feel like these are sufficiently strange to be worth drawing. Hey, castle music again. His head just sort of spins around a bit. There we go. Perfectly sensible trip down into the massive crystal in the ground. Anyway, after fiddling around with some bits and bobs that don't seem to do anything, we set off a few little bombs in the excavation, and we find some keys, which we immediately put in our pocket, and then it immediately falls out of a hole in our pocket and we lose them. Because Jimmy is Jimmy. We have a big old fight. Lots of soldiers start running at us while we're on the precipice of a big old cliff. And we survive the fight, but only just, because the final move of the final soldier in that fight is to reduce us all down to 1 health. And so we're all a bit knackered at this point, and in desperate need of help. Fortunately for us, I'm not going to draw it from this angle. That's not fun. I'm going to draw it from the angle that it gives you in the game. Fortunately for us, way down below, turns out, is the shore. There's some water. Guess I probably should have put that on the... And what do we see down there but... ships with the Galbadian symbol on it, which I think is sort of like a biological hazard symbol. And we're like, oh, fantastic, rescue. And by we, I mean... Jimmy, because he's the only one who's conscious at this point. Because everybody else has collapsed on the floor. Symbol of every good guy, absolutely. Good times. It's annoying that this isn't a good boss fight. It's just a series of enemies that occurs, because it's like, oh, I want to draw this. It was like kind of like a big thing. The biohazard symbol, absolutely. He's there. He's also here. Again, some anatomy would help with drawing people laying down. And so upon seeing that there are boats down below, approximately 7,000 feet down below, Jimmy goes, "Fantastic, we're rescued. Let's go." Oh, I'm a bit afraid of heights. I won't go first. I'll let you guys go first. And then he drags Jim and Jen to the edge of the cliff and just sort of throws them off. Because he's like that, good old Jimmy. He's like, "You can do it. It's gonna be fine. I know you're afraid of heights, Jim. But don't worry about it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Whew. Sploosh. There we go. It's a long fall. And you go, whoa, that's pretty long fall. He's doing all this in pretty excessive agony at this point. They're almost dead. I think Jen manages to get a little bit of a struggle in before he gets tossed off. That's not, don't, no, okay? No. No, thank you. Look, I know it's difficult to get through my streams, but I don't think you need drugs to do it. So yeah, it just chucks everybody off the cliff. That's how hands work, isn't it? Got like some packs on his belt or something, and yeah. There's a big old cliff, by the way. Let's auto mod for the host. Yeah. Look forward to each and every stream, even the Cthulhu one. And the ones where you talk about people getting tossed off a cliff. Well, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it somewhere memorable. So yeah, the scale's a bit off here. It's fine. And that's basically the end of the dream. There's a big old crystal. You fight some weird alien things. Alien looking things. More on that later. And you're right there, miss. And then you get beaten up by some Spider-Men and you jump off a cliff. And that's how that dream ends, and everybody then wakes up. Oops. And Pikachu goes, How's Jim and Jimmy? They alright? And we say, could be better. They could be better. We then explain that we've had these sorts of dreams before to... Probably should have saved this picture before I did all this. Oh no, they're all corrupted now. Before as in once. I mean, yeah. Doing it once is doing it before. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And again, I think it is reiterated at this point. Simon says... Why did you call him Simon? Simon says that, you know, this is not something we're going to be able to work out what it is at the moment. We have things to do. Let's go. Which is odd, actually, because we don't have things to do. I guess we've got to get back to the space potato and warn everybody that there might be some sort of retaliation for what's going on. These dreams once, why is everyone treating it like this is normal? Because anime. I guess that's the end. But having had a little bit of time to think about it while we've been asleep. Just woken up, we're a bit groggy. I think Cheery apologizes a little bit for being a bit harsh with the arguments and being a bit, you know, we're the professionals. Roughly, we know what we're talking about. She probably shouldn't argue too much. She just gets very passionate about, you know, all these sorts of things. You didn't think about the Simon Says thing when we gave him the name, but you're living for it. Well, there we go. So yeah, there's a little bit of reconciliation after the dream. She had a bit of time to think about it, sitting on a tree stump, and we're alright. And we continue on to the Space Pancake, where we will meet quite a character. Boy, howdy. Get those red flags ready. For Tuesday's stream. Oh dear, perfect. Okay, I didn't even think about that. So, howdy indeed. Okay, so, thank you for coming along. We will continue this on Tuesday. That's definitely what we want. I mean, on the bright side, it's not another inappropriate female character. Bit of variety, I guess. Thank you for coming to the stream. Thank you for making it fun, as always. Yeah, we're getting there. It's amazing how much detail there are in little bits of this game, and then how there are like significant events that happen that don't actually have anything. I don't have much to talk about. You know, big crystal, there's a fight, people jump off a cliff. That feels bigger than it is in the game. But that is the gist of it. Inappropriate male character. How many sexual predators are in this game? We've almost met all of them. So it's the howdy character, indeed. This one also has something of a reason behind the... I hate that I have to keep saying this. Oh dear. Right. But we're working our way to the space pancake, and we'll be there at the beginning of next stream. So that's an event. I didn't draw the dog. What's the dog's name? Jive. I didn't draw Jive. I need to draw Jive. Remind me to do that at the beginning of the next stream. Anyway, thank you very much for coming along. Let's get some nice music to end. Let's get the nice guitar music. Yeah. Streaming on the Tuesday, doing more of this. Why do I put myself through it? Who knows? As I say, it only gets weirder. There is a bit towards the end of the first disc where things start to get more sensible, and it's like, okay, I see where this is going, and then no. Yeah. Again, thank you for coming along. It's always a good time. Hope you enjoy. Hope you continue to enjoy, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you. I have no idea how to organise anything that I'm doing next week, so that's going to be fun. If on a Tuesday you watch a VOD after work, have a good time at work. Best of luck with people trying to make sense of maths. Yeah. Enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.